Hello, friends. Welcome to Multiverse. And we all know that there is a huge preparation going on to travel to Mars. In fact, there has been a plan to have at least 1 million people living on the surface of the Mars by 2050. So, what are the preparation? And is there some special planning that is going on? Let us find out. Well, friends, Mars is our next door neighbor, and there has been a lot of planning, a lot of probing going on. A lot of our spacecraft and the rovers are roaming around the entire surface of the Mars, trying to find the raw material, water, and how we can produce our breathable atmosphere, which is the best place to live just in case if we decide to pay a visit on the surface of the Mars. And how do we basically generate heat for our utilization, because the mean temperature is pretty low on the surface of the Mars. Also, the atmosphere is nearly negligible on the surface of the Mars. So these are the questions which are very active, very live, and we need to find solution to all these issues. And the biggest problem on Mars is the radiation which is coming from outer space as well as the sun, because Mars core is sort of frozen. There is very little magnetism to protect us from the radiation. So although Mars provides a good surface, because humans are always living on the land and they would like to continue to live on the land because of the surfacism, the feature that humans have. So we are looking for a place where we can land and live, build our houses, build our fields, build our factories, and probably do mining. And therefore, Mars is the next destination. It is about 6 months ride using the current technology. But do we need to prepare ourselves and take everything from Earth? Because if that is the case, it is going to be nearly impossible to travel to Mars. But if we can source a lot of raw material locally on the Mars, then people can go and establish their society, build an ecosystem locally on the Mars, which is very specific to the Martian condition. So to discuss this further, humans would need to live at certain place. We need a shelter to protect us from the elements. Now, which are the elements? It doesn't rain on Mars. There's hardly any rain. The water, because it's so cold, the condensation in the atmosphere does not happen, and the atmosphere itself is very thin to create any rain. Yes, there are other calamities which we need to protect ourselves. One is radiation, as I said in the beginning. Second is the dust storms. There are huge dust storms which happens on the Mars, and once a dust storm starts, the air picks up and then covers the entire planet. So when we have dust storms or any sort of storms on Earth, they're kind of localized. But on Mars, since the feature like Earth are missing, once a storm starts on Mars, it's very difficult to stop. And it's spread across the entire planet, at least half the planet. So if we are caught in the dust storm, we need to protect our machinery. We also need to protect our gear, our vehicles, and ourselves. So in that case, we need to find a habitat which can protect us from these dust storms. It can protect us from the cold environment. It could hold the atmosphere inside the habitat, and also protect us from the cosmic radiation, which is coming down, always coming down 24/7 on the surface of the Mars. So hypothetically, we need a very special material which is strong and is radiation proof, and it is heavy, those kind of things. Fortunately, on the surface of Mars, unlike Earth, there is a lot of titanium which is mixed to the soil, the Martian soil. And that is a good thing, because if we can extract some of these metals like iron or titanium and kind of make an alloy which will help us create a structure on the surface of the Mars to protect our society, protect our machinery, etc., then we have some starting point on Mars. So a lot of research has already happened, and because of building these specialized machinery, it is like restarting the human civilization from the scratch, like we did on Earth. Our written history is about 5,000 years, and around 5,000 years back, humans used to live in caves. They came out of caves, started building these cities, and it took them 5,000 years. We don't want to repeat the same thing again once we go to the Mars. We would like to make sure that there has to be some ready-made solution or some quick solution which is available, considering the fact that human civilization has already quite advanced, and we don't have to move back to caves just in case if we decide to live on Mars. So that is the difference, and I think we have the technology which is available right now to basically utilize high-tech machinery that we have on Earth right now. So I think we need to create all these habitable domes and habitable houses, factories, in which humans can work and produce certain industrial items, and also produce can also do cultivation, produce food, etc., and also do a lot of exploration about the features of the Mars. So 3 to 4 types of jobs immediately will be available, but while these 3 to 4 different types of jobs are available on Mars, we need to protect these people. We need to protect, if in case there are pets around on Mars along with humans, we need to protect them as well, any livestock that is required. So it is impossible to send all of this along with humans, because humans need an environment, and carrying all this, your livestock, your food items, it's very difficult. Even on Earth, if there is certain scarcity of certain material in certain countries, it is a big project, because you need to mobilize your aircrafts to airdrop certain supplies, etc. And start thinking about it. If you have to send the entire life support system from Earth, each spaceship would take about 6 to 8 months to reach Mars only once in 2 years, because the Mars will then go on the other side, and it will be a big project. So once in 2 years, we get a window when we can start sending stuff to the Mars, and whenever we fire a rocket, it will take 6 months to land on Mars. Every 2 years. So there is a cycle of 2 years, and it's impossible to send all the stuff that humans require for the survival from Earth. That means we need to basically do some research in order to automate certain processes which will start creating things automatically, even without humans being present. I'm talking about robots, and the first challenge is building the habitat. And as I said, there is a lot of abundance of titanium and iron in the soil of Mars. Therefore, the Martian soil can be used by the 3D printers, and you can make all sorts of things, starting from houses to tools to even spacecraft. What you need is basically certain processing unit, and you can send them as an unmanned mission. They can land and start working based on the mission parameter. So what you need is a robot or robotic plant which will convert the Martian soil into usable minerals and material. So first thing that the robots will need to build is a 3D printed house. So this is an example of a 3D printer which is now building the house. Right now we are using this technology on Earth, and in future on Earth also the houses will be 3D printed. Gone are the days when we will need to mix concrete and erect steel and stuff like that, and have an army of laborers who will actually start building the house, and it will take about 1 year to build your house. Like a 3 to 4 story house will take 1 year to build. I think gone are the days. I think those days are numbered. Even on Earth, what we will have is the design parameter will be approved. Design will be fed into a 3D printer which is intelligent AI based, and within a month, using some special material, concocted material, the 3D printer robot will build your house from top to bottom. So this is the future, and the same thing will be replicated on Mars using the Martian soil. So what we would need is a processing unit which will take the Martian soil, convert that into usable raw product for 3D printer to construct your house, construct your factory, etc. So that the habitat at least is available, and which is strong enough to withstand Martian storms, strong enough to stop all the radiation, strong enough to hold atmosphere inside these habitable domes or habitable structure. And since you can send them unmanned, you can control them from Earth. So by the time human race is ready to occupy these already built up houses and built up areas to work, these guys, these machinery can continue to build cities after cities after cities based on the requirement. And say for example, if there are first 10 houses are built, the first 5 can be occupied by the first settlers, and then others can join, and by the time the others are joining them, the new houses will be built, and so on and so forth. So I think there is a scope for a lot of automation, and we need to do a little bit of planning and use the automated machinery, send them unmanned, just like we are sending the probes currently on Mars, which are basically doing a lot of exploration. In the similar manner, we need to send these unmanned robots who will start processing the Martian soil and rocks and start building the habitats for future humans to go there and settle there. So I think this is something which is required if we want to settle on Mars. And the whole point is that recently the Martian soil has shown that it has the right ingredients to be able to create very strong structures and variety of structures. So you can make very different kind of stuff, starting from very small tools which will be utilized by humans to do some small things, to rocket parts. Because unless we have the traffic going from Mars to Earth and Earth to Mars, we need to start building rockets which can send people back, rather than start building rockets here. So that the efforts can be minimized for the Earth-based support system. The Martian civilization can do their own R&D, come up with their own type of rockets which will be more friendly to the Martian gravity, and so on and so forth, so that the rocket parts can also be constructed. A complex machinery like rocket can be constructed using Martian local material. And we have the knowledge, we have the know-how. All we have to do is basically do the planning, and we have to avoid sending any life support system from Earth in order to establish a colony on the surface of the Mars. So this is an important subject, friends, and since I'm talking to you live, if you have any suggestion, any question, you can shoot live right now, or you can send in your questions or suggestions after my live stream has ended. So as always, thanks for watching, friends. Today is Friday. I will meet you on next Monday live again. Please enjoy your weekend, and bye bye for today.